Talking confidently about things without understanding a thing about it is today's journalism. Unfortunately, a lot of people follow them. If you have any interest in knowing the truth, bear with me for a while. I'm going to talk about every section, law, its usage and misuse. Indian Constitution doesn't apply equal laws to everyone. Do you know this? Meaning, there is a law that says child marriage is a punishable offense, and there is a law that allows child marriages. The state punishes Hindus and others who marry under 18 girls, but they cannot punish Muslim men even if they marry minor girls because it's allowed as per their personal laws. And according to Article 25, religions are allowed to follow their personal laws and the state must not interfere in the religious matters of citizen. One can argue saying, what's your problem? If Muslim follows their personal laws, let them follow. Their religion allows. Similarly, Christians, Hindus, Parsis, let them follow their personal laws where marriage is allowed only after 18 for women and 21 for men. What is the problem? The problem is Islamists abduct girls of other religions, convert to their religion and then apply their personal laws. Love jihad. Is it not happening? Law allows Muslim men to legally marry and have sexual intercourse with puberty attained minor girls. I'll ask you a question. Is marriage prohibited or allowed under 18 in your country? What will you answer? The so-called intellectuals who say everyone is equal in the country, in what sense this is called equality? These are clearly defined, distinctly different laws for Hindus and Muslims. There is no law that treats everyone equally in the country. Marriage is one thing. You know how divorce is handled in the country? Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists and Jains are prohibited from practicing polygamy, means having more than one spouse. You should divorce and then only can marry others. Those who practice polygamy will be punished under IPC sections 494 and 495. Parsis have the same laws. But Muslim men can marry up to 4 women and the Indian Constitution has no objection to it. Don't mistake it for all Muslims. Only Muslim men are allowed. Women will be severely punished if they do polygamy. It doesn't end here. Adultery means voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and a person who is not their spouse. In 2018, Supreme Court decriminalized adultery for both husband and wife, before which you can press for criminal charges if the spouse has an extramarital affair. Now you can apply for a divorce under Section 13 of the Hindu Marriage Act and separate yourself. But one condition for women, they have to prove their husbands are cruel to them. This gender discrimination in the law is forcing them to use the provisions of cruelty to make false allegations of domestic violence against husbands and their families. While Hindu men suffer from this unintelligent law, the exact opposite happens in Muslim law. Women are not allowed to have extramarital affair, but men can have. Women are not allowed to seek divorce from their husbands for adultery. Adultery kya? Women don't have the right to seek divorce at all. But men can divorce their wives in Islam, not just on the grounds of adultery, but even without having any reason. They threaten their wives of divorce for no reason. Now I'll tell you a weird combo. Decriminalization of adultery for Hindus and no legal punishment for Muslims as per Muslim law. Muslim men are legally allowed to abduct married Hindu women and lure them into extramarital affairs. How is it? So marry multiple women, abduct women from other religions and produce more children? Rampant population jihad karo? System apne saath hai. When a girl is raped, the so-called intellectuals pop up and say, how can you look at it as a Muslim girl or a Hindu girl? Look at the girl as a girl. Show me where is the law which treats girl as a girl. Understand why is it important to use Hindu or Muslim or tribal or a rich class? Because the damn treatment is different before the law. Is there a ground for me to say discrimination for men? No, I have to clearly define which men. Discrimination for Hindu men or discrimination for Muslim men? Because the damn treatment they get is so different. The law has no meaning without bringing Hindu-Muslim into the context. The reality is, the state will not interfere in Muslim religious matters because they will chop off your heads if you decide for them. But Hindus, you can interfere, you can beat them, you can grab their property, girls, everything, nobody revolts. So the conclusion here is, country is not functioning because there is a law. Country is functioning in the mode of survival to the fittest. If you're powerful, you live. If you're weak, you will be crushed. Your blood will boil now if you look at the kind of exploits people do in the name of law of equality. We all know how many years it takes for Hindus to settle a divorce case, right? But for Muslims, only 3 months. Why? They don't need to go to civil courts for divorce. They have triple talaq at their mosque. Now the liberandus might say, you idiot, Supreme Court banned triple talaq in 2017. Arey, half-baked. Supreme Court didn't ban triple talaq. They banned only instant triple talaq. where a Muslim man pronounces triple talaq 3 times in one sitting. That too not because it is unethical, but because it is not fully resonating with Quran. A Muslim man can still pronounce talaq once a month for 3 months and divorce their wives. Do you know why Islamists are upset when government wants to ban triple talaq? Because it is used by radicals to overcome the limit of having only 4 wives. They use triple talaq to divorce their previous wives and marry more women to produce more children. You are a fool if you think it only affects Muslim women. They go after a lot of Hindu women due to this quick and unjustified right to divorce for Muslim men. They made triple talaq a weapon to commit rampant conversion jihad and population jihad. Even in alimony matters, the law is not equal for everyone. Alimony, you know, right? Financial support that a person is ordered by a court to give to the spouse during divorce. Again, Hindus, Parsis and other dharmic religions have one-sided laws that men are obliged to pay alimony even if the fault is not on their side and even if the wife's financial situation is better than the husband's. On the other side, Muslim men are neither obliged to pay alimony at the time of divorce nor maintenance after divorce. ऐसा गली में छोड़ के चले जाओ दूसरा लड़के के साथ, सिस्टम अपने साथ है. A study by Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan in 2015 revealed 1 in every 11 Muslim women was a victim of triple talaq, with having no means of earning or alimony at the time of divorce. But the radical Islamist men are allowed to marry as many women as they want and breed like pigs in the drainage. And the law doesn't even require them to take responsibility for their kids. It becomes such a burden on Muslim women to raise children on their own. On top of it, governments provide them with freebies, scholarships and reservations. Why will they take responsibility of the kids? Basically, tax-paying Hindus are indirectly paying for the alimony of women divorced by Islamists. Should we blame the Muslims alone for this? No. Then who is responsible for this? Courts? No way. They are pushing the center to enact UCC since a long time. Then who is the culprit? Constitution? No. Politicians? Yes. The Congress party is the real monster who did this. So this is the only thing should be kicked out of the country first. They have purposefully included unethical, biased and one-sided laws in the constitution so that it is always the Hindus who get punished. How do we solve this? It is in this context Modi ji is planning to introduce Uniform Civil Code. It is neither a masterstroke nor a sunstroke. Those who devised the constitution in 50s made no law that deals with ideological conflicts in the society, which has different personal laws for each religious group, governing marriage, divorce, maintenance, succession, inheritance, child custody and adoption, etc. What will happen if we don't have UCC is not even a question to be addressed, because look at the existing happenings without UCC. All the unethical practices are allowed in the name of personal laws of religion. Now the most disastrous thing, the Sharia law. Indian constitution includes laws created by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Do you know this? Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, the monster who killed many Hindus, created a few laws and we are supposed to follow it. Inheritance laws. Indian Succession Act of 1925 states that sons and daughters have equal rights over the property of their parents unless there is a will. As usual, this is applicable only to the followers of dharmic religions. But according to Sharia law, sons should inherit twice as daughters. All male children should inherit equal shares. There is no concept of will in the Islam, and Sharia law doesn't allow Muslims to distribute their properties to their heirs as they wish. It doesn't allow Muslims to disinherit their kids. Islamists say they don't want common laws because they follow Sharia law. But what they follow in India is not even truly a Sharia law. Before independence, Jinnah collaborated with the British to create an Islamic state, to create the 1937 Sharia Act. This is the basis of constitutionally approved Islamic laws in India. It is not even truly a Sharia law. Jinnah cherry-picked the laws that favor Islamists and removed the laws that are not in favor of criminals in Islam. Jinnah himself wanted to disinherit his daughter for marrying a non-Muslim. So he introduced a disinheritance law to deprive her of a share in his property. He introduced a right to will to distribute property unevenly according to the will of Muslim men. He removed many criminal laws that dictate harsh punishments like cutting off the hands of thieves among the followers of Islam. It is a joke to say that Islamists are not following Sharia laws. They are following Jinnah laws. Generally, Islamic laws are cruel to women, and now Jinnah laws not only deprive Muslim daughters of their property rights, it is also used as a tool for blackmailing Hindu women who are a victim of love jihad. So the general blackmail goes to disinherit the kids if their Hindu wives refuse to convert to Islam or if the kids don't choose to follow Islam. And then there are guardianship laws and adoption laws, which were again written as per their convenience, as a result of which the responsibility of bringing up the kids is entirely laid on the divorced Muslim mothers. And when the kids come up of age and become productive, Muslim fathers can take custody of the kids even if the mothers are not willing to. There is one more blood boiling thing. Adoption is not recognized in Sharia law, but our constitution grants a law whereby Muslims and Christians can adopt children from orphanages. Understand this very carefully. Muslims' personal law neither allow adoption nor provide equal rights to the adopted children, but our constitution allows them to adopt children. Hindus must treat adopted kids like their own kids, must have equal rights, but Muslims need not. This is a blatant freedom to pick minor girls from the orphanages, sexually abuse them. Islamic law allows fathers to marry minor daughters, right? Marry them and bear kids anyway, you need not take care of them. Christians haven't done anything less. Under the guide of adoption, rapid conversions to Christianity is what they did. The fraud Teresa. I'll make a separate video on this monster. To the mischievous thugs who don't even follow their laws properly, you give such provisions in the constitution. How do you expect it will serve peace and social justice in the country? Population and birth control laws are not equally applicable. Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists and Jains lose benefits from government schemes if they have more than 2 kids. But Muslims don't lose the benefits, even if they have 20 kids. So what is the formula? As many kids you have, that much money you can loot from the government. Instead of all this, you could have simply written, destroy others and serve Islam. Okay. Do you still want reasons for why we need uniform civil code? Madrasas and Christian convents receive funds from governments, while Hindu gurukuls are neither funded by government nor recognized by educational boards. Governments don't fund Hindu temples, yet they take control of temple revenue. Governments don't control revenue from churches and mosques, yet they fund them. The Places of Worship Act restrict Hindus from reclaiming their ancient temples converted into mosques, but it won't apply to Islamists. The Waqf Act, should I even talk about it? Do you know the person who granted these many powers to Islamists? Yes, it's Nehru. Nehru created not just one Pakistan, but 2 Pakistans. After Bharat was partitioned into India and Pakistan in 1954, Nehru's parliament made the Waqf Act, allowing the Waqf board to take ownership of the lands left behind by Indian Muslims after they left Pakistan. This made Waqf board the single largest owner of lands in India. With this act, Nehru created an Islamic state within India to slowly consume Bharat. Did Pakistan give the Hindu lands in Pakistan to any Hindu board? Who gave Nehru the right to do this act? Again in 1995, the old law was changed to give the Waqf board more power. Section 3 of the Waqf Act 1995 literally states that if the Waqf thinks that the land belongs to a Muslim, then it is the property of Waqf. Just by thinking it's their property, Waqf can claim any property. I pray Allah that tomorrow Waqf board must think all the lawmakers' properties as their properties. Why are these caste-based reservations still continued? Unlike Hindus, Muslims and Christians are showered with freebies, reservations, government provisions, even after not following birth control. All these are the reasons for the rapid growth of Muslim population in India. What are we aspiring for? Akhand Bharat? How? By killing? By doing the same thing that Muslims do to us? Then you won't be a Hindu, right? We are talking about ending the jihadi, right? The way forward to make it happen is only by protecting Hindus and simultaneously civilizing Muslims through law and order. That's what Modi ji is doing. Look at the brilliance of our Prime Minister, his conviction to find a way that would peacefully settle things. It's a blessing that we got such a Prime Minister. Understand, if less than 7% of Muslims can burn out France, Britain and Germany, imagine what 14% would do in India. Lakhs of illegal immigrants are already roaming around in the country. Congress is on its deathbed. It's going to do anything possible to survive in 2024. Without bringing uniform civil code, there is no way you can put a check on Islamic radicalism. Eradicating polygamy through UCC and implementing a uniform population control bill will control the growth of radical Islam. It will eventually save Hindus and Bharat from becoming a barbaric nation. Above all, Islam is not the dangerous thing. The real danger is Congress party. If the Congress is gone, nation will be peaceful. So the most important thing is Congress Mukta Bharat. Jai Shri Ram.